Have you ever wondered what kind of secrets are locked away in government files? You know, the ones stamped top secrets? Well, every now and then, those files get declassified. And what they reveal, it can be way stranger than fiction. Today, we're diving into one of those files. A program that sounds like it was ripped right out of a sci-fi movie. Yep, we're talking about psychic spies.
And this is it. This is the cover page of a document put together back in 1993 for the Defense Intelligence Agency. For years, it was classified as secret, but now, here it is, for all of us to see. This document is basically an overview of a very, very unusual intelligence program. So what in the world was the US government up to behind closed doors? The official name of the program was Project Stargate. And its mission? Well, it brings up a pretty wild question. Was the US government seriously trying to use psychic abilities for espionage? According to their own files, the answer is a big, resounding yes. You gotta love the official language here. The program's whole focus, right there in the preface, was on anomalous phenomena. That's government speak for things like telepathy, psychokinesis, and this one fascinating skill that really became the heart of the project: remote viewing. And listen, this was not some small, forgotten experiment tucked away in a broom closet. In 1991, the Defense Intelligence Agency authorized $2 million to get this new phase of the project running. That is a serious chunk of change, and it really shows you how much potential they thought this whole thing had. So, what were these psychic spies actually trying to do? The whole program was basically built around this one central idea: a specific psychic skill they thought could be trained and used for intelligence. Let's see how the document itself breaks it down. Okay, this is the key to everything. Remote viewing, or RV for short. The official definition describes it as the ability to see and describe a place, a person, or an object from a huge distance, without using any of your known senses. No eyes, no ears. It's basically like trying to use your mind as a satellite. And if that wasn't strange enough for you, it gets even weirder. The project wasn't just about seeing things in the present. Oh no, they were testing two mind-bending variations. First, precognition. That's seeing things before they happen. And then, retrocognition, the ability to see events that already happened in the past. All right, this is where it gets really, really cool. The declassified document isn't just theory and definitions. It actually includes pictures and results from the real experiments. So let's take a look at what they found. I mean, did any of this stuff actually work? Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example of what they called retrocognition. A remote viewer thousands of miles away was asked to describe a location. They came back with descriptions of rocks, a mountain over water, a tall structure, and then boom, a castle. And what was the target? Urquhart Castle in Scotland, from 14 hours in the past. Now in this one, it's the visual accuracy that's just so stunning. The viewer didn't even use words, they drew sketches. You can see their drawing of a diagonal trough and another piece they called an aerator. Now look how closely those abstract shapes actually match the key parts of the real target, this Sylvania facility. It's pretty uncanny. And this example? This one's about seeing the future, or precognition. The viewer described a scene with water, some boats, vertical lines, and a big round disc-like thing. This description was given a full 24 hours before the target photo was even taken in the Danube River area. It's like they were describing an event that hadn't even happened yet. I mean, these examples are just incredible, right? But they're also just individual highlights, the greatest hits. So the big question is, how often did this really work? Could you actually rely on it as an intelligence tool? Let's dig into the project's own data and see what it says. So this chart here gives us a breakdown of the kinds of missions they were working on between '86 and '89. Out of 192 total projects, you can see the biggest chunk was science and technology targets, so think foreign research labs and things like that. But they were also trying this out on counterterrorism and counter-narcotics cases. So let's zoom in on one of those categories. In 1990, they ran a specific test focused on counter-narcotics. And out of the 32 projects they could actually check their work on, the results were split almost perfectly into thirds. About a third showed a strong link, a third showed some kind of link, and a third showed no link at all. But really, the big takeaway from all this data is that the success rate was just all over the map. This table shows you the overall range of how well the psychic data matched reality across different missions. And just look at how wide those ranges are. For counterterrorism, the accuracy could be anywhere from 25% to 70%. That inconsistency, that was a huge problem.
So, what was the final call from inside the intelligence community? You have these absolutely stunning success stories, but then you have data that shows it was wildly inconsistent. How do you possibly make a final judgment on something so bizarre? This quote right here from an internal science panel that reviewed the program, it's kind of shocking. Even a panel of skeptical scientists, after looking at all the evidence, concluded that what they were seeing was too impressive to dismiss as mere coincidence. They actually felt something real was going on. But, and this is a really big but, they couldn't give it their stamp of approval. The panel had some major scientific problems with it. For one, they had no physical model to explain how it could possibly work. They were worried about something called inadvertent cueing, where maybe the psychic was getting little clues without anyone realizing it. And the biggest issue of all, the results just weren't consistently replicable. And that's the gold standard in science.
In the end, the challenges were just too much to overcome. While the document does mention that new research was started up somewhere else, this specific official program at SRI International was shut down in 1991. The psychic spy program, at least in this version, was officially over. And that leaves us with this fascinating puzzle, doesn't it? We have actual declassified government documents showing pretty compelling evidence for something that, according to science, just shouldn't be possible. So does this file finally close the book on psychic spies? Or does it just open up a whole new chapter of questions, proving there are still things out there that we just don't understand yet? What do you think?